Hey, I'm Danielle, founder of Golden Hour Code Digital Agency. Welcome to the second episode of Built and Branded. We're so excited. I'm here with my friends and colleagues who are crushing it in the marketing scene in Las Vegas and beyond. If you're a small business owner or young entrepreneur looking for some real life insights coming from real marketers, tune in. So I'm here with my friends and colleagues, Kim Ast and Callie Morgan. And you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kim from Creative Insight Marketing. I have spent over 25 years primarily in gaming and hospitality in Las Vegas, born and raised native. Now I've left corporate marketing and I have opened my own little agency and have been doing that for the last year, helping small businesses get their feet on the ground.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Total change of pace.
Total change of pace for you, but I know you love it.
Yeah. Yes. Totally.
And Callie?
My name is Callie Morgan. I'm a photographer. I own Ophira Photo LLC. And honestly, I'm just here to secretly learn from both of you who have been in the game for so long, because as an entrepreneur, I feel like a lot of us throw ourselves in it and we don't know what we're doing. So I actually want to ask you guys some questions today.
She came prepped.
I came prepped. So we'll see what happens, but I'm happy to be here.
How would you guys describe the work you're doing in marketing right now? And what are you most focused on improving? Hard questions already.
I
Right
know.
out the gate.
You want me to go first?
You go first, Kim.
Okay. So right now with the clients I have, I'm focusing on helping them build their business. A lot of them are just, hey, let's do this social. Hey, can I want to run this billboard? Hey, I want to do this. And they're not building the foundation. They're not asking all the right questions. They're just throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks.
Literally.
And so I'm trying to get people back to that foundation to start fresh and build it up. So right now, that is what I'm focusing on with most of my clients, is just getting them to realize that you can't just throw stuff. You've got to think of the strategy behind it.
Because that's something that we see every single day in our business.
Yes.
And it's kind of, I think it started with a whole social media push. Everybody thinks that they can just go viral and then that'll solve all their problems, when in reality, they don't have any systems behind it. It's
Exactly.
kind of ridiculous when you have to educate a business owner how to run their business almost in a way that it's like, hey, we have to do this where the foundation is right. And that's honestly, that's the title of this podcast, The Reality of Marketing a Business.
Yes. Yes. And they
So-
want one post. And if it doesn't get enough likes, it's not, in their eyes, it's not working. And they don't know what brand awareness is, so you're got to tie in both of it. It's everything.
Yeah.
Right.
Or think social will sell everything and nothing for them. They're like, oh, we just need social media. And this is going to be what's going to make us.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, yeah, there's a huge audience on social media nowadays, but like, not
More to it.
everyone's on socials.
Right.
Let's say, for example, you're a home service company, you're trying to sell $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 jobs, and you think those people are going to be on social media?
Yeah.
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 No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A dentist.
Come
Right.
Things like that. Like, are you going to show people's? Never mind.
Plastic surgery?
No, I
No,
do
it's so
follow
true.
a guy that does amazing, funny plastic surgery stuff. Yes, but yeah, he shows them too.
That's funny.
We
So
cut that, but
being more on the small business owner side, something that I feel like we would have to figure out, like what I would hire you guys for, is literally that, is the clarity. Who is my target audience? Who do I want to reach? Because if you don't have that, then your systems are going to fail. So I feel like being able to find out who I want to reach and brand awareness, like you said, is so important. And so many business owners just get into the creative part of it and they bypass that. So that's why I think all the wisdom y'all have is so valuable, because, and it's also one thing to know these things, but to actually implement it is completely different.
Completely different.
So,
yes.
What's one
yes.
thing that you're focusing on improving right now?
I'm like everything, but honestly, finding who my ideal client is. I don't know why, but that's been such a struggle for me. And I feel like if I can have that clarity, I can really niche down and figure out who is my target audience, what do they want to see, how can I be a solution to their problem. So with that comes research. Who are these people? Where are they looking to find solutions? And how can I be that for them? So I'm trying to figure that out. But I feel like that's just an ongoing process.
I feel like you have that talent to where you shouldn't go down to just like, oh, I'm only going to do when
You
it's...
shouldn't limit yourself.
Yeah,
People tell
I
me
think-
that.
Yeah.
I've known
With
you for
all-
years.
Yes.
You have grown so much as a photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the photographers I've worked with over the years, like some of them will say, oh, they just start in architecture or they just start
Right.
in food. But the better you get, the more you just, it's to be diverse, I think is okay.
Okay.
I think that to me, I mean, if you decide, oh, I only
Yeah.
want to do weddings because that's what I want to do, fine, then just do weddings. But I think that you're limiting yourself and your creativity if you narrow it.
down to one.
And it's such a
I do think-
Yeah.
like,
It's
speciality.
such an umbrella. There's so many different things you can do, and there's too many options.
Yes.
I like this. Why? Yeah.
But even if you just did 3 or 4, the
True.
food, the friends, the lifestyle, the branding, women branding, that's,
Right.
That's still 4 avenues.
That's true. But yeah, I think getting that clarity, whether it is that, I feel like that's something I'm definitely searching for, which again is why we need marketing people.
And we need you to help us showcase it.
Yes. Showcase.
Right?
It's a circle of life here.
That's
It
right.
is. You all help each other.
So, Kim, I have this very specific question for you.
Ooh.
Because I know.
Okay.
I know. What's something about working in marketing that turned out very different from what you expected when you were in corporate and now as a business owner yourself?
Oh, not like just when I started.
All of the above.
Well, from corporate standpoint, I would say I never realized how much marketing is subjective. And how much you're going to have to play into people's opinions that are above you or at a different property or such, and that you can think that this campaign is amazing and you knocked it out of the park, and then you present it to whoever and they're like, I don't like green. I don't like green because Sally puked on me in school, and therefore green reminds me of Sally. So you can never use green in any campaign going forward. So corporate life was a lot of that's, detailed into their personal opinion. You can't shoot a rare steak because they only eat it medium well, things like that. So the subjectiveness and having the thick skin isn't something that I realized when I got into marketing that I would have to have so much, because you take so much pride in your work and you go and you present it to somebody, and then when they kind of shit on it for silly reasons, that's hard. The other thing is pivoting.
Yeah.
Pivot is like my favorite word. I have the Ross sign up,
Love it.
From the couch scene in Friends where it's like, pivot,
Yes.
because every day in corporate land was, I had to pivot. We were going to do this promotion. Is it halfway through? Nope, we've changed our mind. Oh, okay, pivot. Oh, we're going to change the name. Okay, pivot. Oh, you know what? You did all that hard work. We're not going to do it anymore. We're going to scrap that. We're going to start over with something else. So it's like my favorite word. We're going to pivot today. We're going to pivot, Somebody showed up late. We got to pivot and do shorter time.
Hypothetical situation.
Totally hypothetical.
Me. I'm the problem.
I'm always late.
But yeah, how it's so subjective, and to have that thick skin, because it's not like accounting where 2 + 2 is 4 and nobody can argue with you about that. Everybody can argue with you about how you're doing your marketing, how you're doing your creative, how you're spending your money. So it's just something I didn't realize would be so forefront. In the small business world, things are totally different. I mean, totally different. They are really, truly, you're not just a number. They're relying on you for your expertise. They lean in on you. They listen. And it's just totally different. I didn't expect so much respect and so much caring from the clients that I have so far.
Yeah.
So, we feel like we're a team with all the different clients. And I like that. And that's just not something I necessarily expected, because I've had the agency side, and sometimes the agency side is not treated that well. And my experience so far it's been great. So I'm happy I made the move.
Yeah, I think it's something that is a thing when it comes to small business marketing, because they rely on you. They know that you're going to directly affect their bottom line. They know that you are the force, the engine moving things forward for them. So having that mutual respect is just the best thing.
And when they succeed, we succeed.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. What do you think? I mean, I know that you moved from portraits and brand shoots into more now, you're helping us with food and lifestyle and doing all, like, what's changed for you?
I think just kind of being, I always like to remain teachable, no matter what, whether it's a wedding or whatever. Even yesterday with Kim, I told her, I said, no, tell me what to do. Like, be specific, boss me around, tell me to take that out of the shot. I need that personally, especially if it's a new area that I want to grow in and that is new to me. I think sometimes, I don't know if this happens to y'all, what photographers will come in and maybe they think they know everything. And that's just not the type of energy I think is important to anyone's business. So yeah, for me, that's really important. And just from observing both of you, I think just marketing, I used to think, oh, it's just old school billboards, radio, flyers, and then new school, it's social media and going viral and meta ads. But there is so many layers to marketing that I had no idea, which is why you're on your laptop 24/7. So there's so much more to it than I think people give the marketing industry credit for.
It's the execution is, all those items that you listed, but on top of that, you need to, this is why I say, like, well, AI, I don't think AI can ever replace, like, real marketers because we know the foundation, we know the systems, we know what's best for the client. We don't do cookie cutter shit. It's like, it's those things, that knowledge, that expertise that we can bring to the table. And that's totally fine with me to have, AI assisted implementation.
Right.
But it's not fine with me to have AI create the whole strategy. That's like, what?
By the time it might be 100% accurate, we will no longer be here. So, it's a huge tool, which I know we're going to talk about later. So, but
what do you think has been super different from what your expectation versus reality as a small business owner, going off on your own?
To be honest, this sounds so naive, but I didn't think there'd be so much trial and error. I thought things would just click and work, but there's so much to learn, so much to grow. Like I said, going back to being teachable and actually doing the things I don't like to do. I like to take pictures. I don't like to analyze data. I don't like to see, hey, why did this reel pop off? Why did I get those clients that month? That's not fun for me. But also, and I'm not there yet, but something I admire about you as well, Danielle, is seeing, like, what can I delegate to other people and what can I, so I can focus on this. I think that's really important. And I think eventually I would like to get to that level as well. But yeah, I think just knowing, like, doing the best you can with what you have, but knowing when it's time to maybe say, hey, that person's an expert at this. I'm going to give that to them so that I can take pretty photos and they can help me with that other area.
Yes. You can't be 100% at everything if you're stretching yourself thin.
So,
right.
So that's why you have a team.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. And that has honestly been a point of contention for me is delegation.
Yeah.
Figuring out who to give what to, how I'm going to train them. It's been like an insanely hard task for me because I'm like, oh, I can do it. I can just do it. It takes me 5 minutes. I can just do it. What is that 5 minutes going to do? It turns into 10, 15, 20, 25
times
minutes.
20 times.
Right.
Times 20 times. It's like, what? I don't have any time in the day.
Well, we both come from a control freak power. We're used to just doing it ourselves. Right. So it's hard to let that go when, even in our corporate lives, we had a lot of hats and we handled everything. And so we continue to do that now. And sometimes it's hard to trust.
It is.
But especially now that it's our businesses, it's not for
someone
somebody
else's.
else.
Yeah. But I'm just happy I have you guys. Because without you two, I'd probably go crazy. I'd be in crazy land.
Crazier than you already are?
Crazy
Yeah,
land?
way crazier. I'd be in a psych ward.
Lauren, help us.
She said that on a hot mic. What would you say is what's actually made the biggest difference in moving things forward in your work? It can be, some kind of system that you have. It can be AI. What do you think has made the biggest difference?
Mine is just clarity with each client. And it kind of goes back to the throwing it at the wall. It's like trying to get them down to figuring out what they're trying to sell, what they're trying to do, not just popping from one thing to the other before the other promotion is done or the other item is done. It's really just like, can we take a break? let's dial this back and let's just, none of them have foundations, to start with. And I just want to build that for them and get that. And then I have some that know exactly, this is what I am, this is what I need, and it's ready to rock and roll. But there's clarity that with the clients and figuring out their needs and what they truly are trying to accomplish at the end is something I figured as business owners we would know, but we don't even know, right? We're still growing and figuring out what our niche is and if we want to narrow it down. So I think it's just the clarity with them and trying to build the strength beneath what they're trying to grow.
Do you have any tips for reeling people back in terms of clients who just want to like throw 10 things at the wall at the same time? And I've had this struggle myself because it's like I want to make the client happy, but at some point you're paying me for a service. You're paying me for my expertise. You need to listen to me. And I know, Callie, you're very good with setting boundaries, so I'll get to you next. But what is your number one like tip of just reeling them back in and trusting the marketing?
So a lot of my clients know right off the bat that I'm very transparent and I'm no BS and I don't sugarcoat. I'm just very informal. So I'll just kind of be honest and just be like, Callie, I think that we need to take a beat and let's think about this. And these are the reasons why I don't think it's going to work. And I give them the options of like, here's route A that's going to help us. If we go route B, this is going to be the way. And they can choose, but I'm going to at least make sure that they know about route A. Where some people just go, yes, ma'am, yes, sir. I want to make sure that I've at least attempted to guide them in the right direction. At the end of the day, it's their money. They can direct me however they want to do it, but I will just, here's A, here's B, and a lot of times we'll meet in the middle or I can get them to A, or sometimes it's no, this is what I want to do.
Do you ever get super disappointed? Because I've had this moment and, in time, many times over in the last year where, client is saying, well, we want to do this. And I say, well, I think this is the best route to do it. I don't think you're wrong. I just don't think we should do that right now. I don't think you're ready for this. And I go, okay, option A, option B. And they go option B. They want to do theirs, whatever. And then you just get extremely disappointed with yourself because the results didn't work out. That's something,
but it's not at your fault.
I know, but that's something that I feel is still kind of my fault because I'm like, well, if I could have swayed them, if I could have persuaded them, if I could have done this, and that's something that I still carry, but I'm getting a little bit better at like, well, it's their money, it's their loss.
I mean, it's hard. I had somebody that constantly would say to me, I trust you. Right. And so I would do what I think is right. No, I don't want to do that. Or, let's try this. No. But I trust you, do what you need to do. And it's like, okay, well, everything that I'm putting out on the table, you're telling me no. So you want to stay with the way that it wasn't working, So it's hard. It's like, I'm not asking you how to do yours. So let me guide you in these simple ways to do things, And so I understand it's totally difficult because we do put our heart into this stuff, and it's not like they're just piece of paper, we're not paper shufflers. Right. We want to make sure that they succeed. And so when they don't want to take any advice, it's hard.
Right. I mean, Easter Sunday, we were all working.
Yes.
The whole team was working Easter. I was like, oh my God. My aunt was yelling, you're not supposed to work on Holy Week. I'm like, who? Yeah. I can't Santa Semana this week. Like, there's no way.
I have one client. I take 7:00 p.m. calls with him because he has, he has his day job and he has his business. He's getting off the ground. And so, we're always there for them. But yeah, I mean, it's hard and you just it's kind of like the thick skin. We just have to learn to let it go.
How do you set your boundaries? Because I know you're much stricter at it than I am.
Well,
you are like, no. Tell them no. Tell them no.
I have not seen this. I'm ready.
I'm really good at projecting on other people and telling them what to do. But I will say this, just because I really do have a gift for seeing other people's gifts and knowing what they're worth and what they should say yes and no to. So yeah, if a client says something crazy, Danielle, come on. Get that out of here. I'm like, know your worth. Come on, don't entertain that. But
it's easier to give advice
no,
than
exactly.
to do it yourself.
But circling back around, which actually today was a good example, because I have on my bio no DMs for inquiries. And I'm not going to lie. Recently, I've gotten some and I've just deleted them. I didn't even respond because it clearly says. And so already from the jump, if you're not respecting my boundaries, why do I want to do business with you? I know that sounds crazy, but as a recovering people pleaser, the one place, and now I'm pregnant. Okay. So like now I have to understand that my time is valuable. There's boundaries for a reason. It's not because, oh, I just don't want people to DM me. No, it's because things get lost in the weeds. I've booked people wrong dates before, and that's not how I want to run my business. And so for me, I've learned I need these boundaries so that I can be more professional, because if not, then I'm being unprofessional, and that's not what I want to represent.
So guess who DM'd her about it? I think the story said DM me though.
No. No. This was like literally today.
Oh, I know, but I DM'd her in the past.
Oh, okay,
about my shoot.
Okay,
I
and
didn't
also,
read the bio.
Okay, to be honest, no. Okay, really quick. It's also strangers if I've never met them. If it's a friend, you know, and they DM my personal or they text me, okay.
But that's a great,
you've given
that's a
me
great
business
boundary.
before.
Yeah.
But yeah, things have gotten lost in the weeds, and I just don't have
If you
time for
get
that.
engagement where people are constantly responding, it takes 20 and it's out of your, you know.
Yeah, and then I don't see it, and then, you know, so just certain boundaries like that. Or, hey, would you do a shoot but for this instead? And
Nope, this is my price.
this is my full-time job. So again, going back to that, I think they're just, the more you say no to people, the easier it gets when it comes to protecting your peace and your business. Like, this is how we make money.
So Callie knows her worth, and we need to work.
We need to
Getting
work on
there.
it. We need to work on it.
Yes.
But you did walk me off the ledge the other day, which was amazing.
Oh, that's
See, women
good.
supporting women business owners. It's
Exactly.
best thing.
For real. And honestly, no amount of money, in my opinion, is worth my mental health.
Literally.
So I just can't. If I know from the jump this client is already asking for stuff, I'm not going to move forward.
So you feel that the boundaries is directly tied to like a misalignment issue?
Yes.
Okay.
In my opinion, yes. And I think, but that's the thing, you have to know your boundaries. So if it's something like protecting my time, protecting my peace, protecting my mental health, and you ask, is this in alignment or is this something's already crazy, then that's when you stand your ground.
They don't respect you, then what's the point?
What's the
right?
point?
It's
'Cause
like
then-
not all money is good money.
No, exactly. Because then I'm at a shoot and they're like, well, I don't want to, you know, or you're, you know, when you're with your client and they don't want to take your advice when that's why they hired you. So that's where I'm at with it. I think the older I get, the more I get a little sassy.
Wait till you're
Sassy
50.
Oh, yeah, sassy
Sassy
pants.
pants.
Exactly. See?
I love that you're IG sassy pants.
Right. But it's sassy in a fun way, not in a mean way.
Yeah.
It's both.
Being a pushover isn't fun.
I just want to be you. I just wish I could be you because I'm like, damn, she's been in the business for 25 years. I don't even know if I can hold on for that long.
Oh,
Like I get moments where every day where I'm like, should I just go back?
But you love it.
We've
and it's
talked
a
about
passion.
Should I just you know,
so much
I know.
easier to clock in somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
And it's not all on me.
So you go up the ladder and then
you
it
go
all.
up the ladder and then you're like, oh, I maxed out.
Yep.
And then
it's
you're
all
like,
on you.
time to come out again. Oh my gosh.
Gosh.
Okay, what's something people misunderstand about marketing or the work that goes into it?
So it's kind of funny. So we already talked about this a little bit. So touched on it, but social media. So getting people to understand that there's a strategy behind it and there's data and that not one post is going to change the world like we talked about, you know, like you're not going to be able to feature this plant because you sell plants and that one plant is going to go viral and now all your store is going to be full every day because you did one post.
Right.
They don't realize the time and the editing that goes behind it and the strategy, thinking of what that content's going to be. And people just really think it's like, oh, you took a picture and you put it up, or, oh, you told AI to make up that and it, you know, did it. And it's like, first of all, we know AI is not perfect. So even if you do use it, it could be 25 prompts later that it works. It could be 12 edits later in a video. You know, it's like sometimes that 15-second spot takes us 3 hours to edit. You know, and coming from marketing, we're perfectionists. Photography, you're going to be a perfectionist. You're going to redo it and redo it and redo it to the point where, you know, and the average user says, oh, I just take a picture and post it. And I just don't think they realize everything that goes behind that. And just that's just in social media, not even everything else that we do that goes behind, you know?
For me, I think the biggest misunderstanding right now in marketing, and I mean, from what I've been seeing from our clients, is paid media. That's a realm that I continuously have to educate all the time. They're like, well, we're putting $500 a month to this ad and it's not really doing anything. I told you needed more budget. You're in a very specific category that is very competitive. We have clients who are paying $25,000 a month in ad spend. We have clients who are paying $10,000. We have clients who are paying $250 a month. And just because you turn that spigot on doesn't mean you're getting, clients and customers coming to your door and conversions and this and that and the other. And it's like, and also conversions, they step through many different, a conversion, let's say if a landing page view can be a conversion, a form can be a conversion, a sale is a conversion. So what exactly is, what are we measuring? Like that's what I think is like the biggest misunderstanding right now, because it's also a space that has been changing. I mean, I can't even keep up.
Yeah, well, exactly. And paid social, versus like search ads and stuff. And I have some that are just like, no, I have free social. Why would I want to do that? And I'm like, but social, you can't guarantee that you're hitting your demographic, where in this realm we can do that. And so it's really hard for them. I mean, everybody just thinks social is the way to go. I'm like, well, there's still TV commercials. We still have billboards. We still have web banner ads. So obviously social media is not just the way to go.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's not the
and
whole
then,
pie.
or it's like I said, well, why did it take you so long to get that up? I wanted that up an hour ago. Well, you just asked for it. And it takes the time, like just the time even to post it and write the copy for it, So I think that's just, it's just everything, the execution behind it, like the bar, with any bar you have, you've got to go in and you've got to do a Facebook event. You've got to go and make sure it's on Open Table, just all those things that people are not thinking you're doing to promote an event. They think, oh, you made a flyer to come see live music tonight. No, that's not all we did.
Yeah.
So, but social media is the biggest one. And then everybody's so subjective of it. Love it or hate it.
Yeah, it's frustrating when they go. I think my biggest challenge is educating clients and letting them know that, hey, you need a little bit more competitive budget for paid media. They think that turning on organic socials and inviting influencers, and this happens so much in F&B here in Las Vegas, and even, in LA and Napa, wherever, that, they invite influencers, they buy the reach and the impressions off the influencers, essentially, is what that trade is, right? And they think that that's going to get them the conversions that they need. People are going to flock. If we get a guy who has 1 million followers, that guy who has 1 million followers, that post is getting shown to less than 8% of his followers, or his following. So it's like, it's kind of, it's, if you're going to start doing if you're going to open a business, make sure that you have the capital to even market it, because that's something that
and
we
in
see
the appropriate
all the time.
channels.
Exactly. With small businesses where they want to be on all channels all at one time, and it's like, do you know how much work that is, on top of not just our hours, not just the paid media, not just the photography and the creative, not just the strategy and all the other tools that you have to pay for. You have to have at least $5,000 a month.
Right. And, going back to the influencers, it's like they're fantastic, but you can't track their conversions unless you have a code. So they live and die by these influencers, which they're great. They get the word out. They do the brand awareness, but it's okay not to track their conversion. But if you post something, and
You're
it's the
tracking,
same amount, it's
On
tracking.
your own channel.
And then when you want to do the paid that you can track, especially in search or Google ads or web, it's right there. And then that's the stuff where you could do the few things that we can prove, right?
Yeah.
We can't prove a billboard brought you in. We can't prove that a print ad brought you in, right? Mailer, yes, if you was back in the old days where you had to bring in the coupon or, things like that. So it's like the ones that we can track, they don't want to do, So it's just, it's tough, but they just really don't realize how much goes into even going on that platform and programming it to do it, to run that ad. So it's for me, that would.
Well, Callie's actually a master in, content, social content.
Not. We're still learning.
I'm gonna steal that reel. Hey, I'm gonna do this carousel that you did.
She just called her a thief.
I said I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna steal.
I thought you said she stole it.
I steal her stuff all the time.
I was like, you just called her a thief.
Oh my gosh. I mean, nothing's original nowadays. Let's be so for real. You gotta do
when
your
you're
own
talking
spin
to
on
the
it.
camera, though, it's great. And
Thank you.
especially, I think, with a photographer, even in our business, but with a photographer, they want to feel comfortable.
Right.
So the more that you're on camera and they get to know your personality and they get to feel that connection to you, I think it's even more so as important with you
Right.
than maybe so even with us.
Yeah, no, that's very true. That's very true. And going back to just the marketing and the business owners, I feel like oftentimes as a business owner, even for myself, so I can't imagine if I had a marketing team, there can be this false expectation of how quickly things should happen or when things should convert or what works and what doesn't. And I feel like sometimes you have to really give it that time, that 90 days at 180 days, whatever it is, the 6 months to actually see results and be consistent and just trust the people that know what they're talking about.
Exactly. You tell them that it has to optimize. It's like, but it's been 3 days. I'm like,
3 days.
you can't just run it, boost an ad for 3 days and expect to have 100 sales.
I mean, we're in an Amazon Prime world. I feel like people see the viral video, they see the Keith Lee effect, and they think that's going to happen to me. But then can you sustain it after that video goes away?
Yep.
So I think business owners, we can forget that too. So, or do we even have the product or the skill set to maintain this if it does get what we're seeking?
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of social media, it's oversaturated. We all know this. And so it's like, are there other channels that they can even look at, apart from social media? Obviously, like capturing high intent demand is on Google. If someone's already searching for your stuff, why don't you have an ad up?
Exactly. Especially if it's a niche product too. And then you can capture that audience so much easier than just spitting it out there on Instagram and hoping for the best.
Yeah. It's like a lottery. It's like you're gambling whenever, you post on socials, or expect conversions from social media. It's an awareness tool for us, but.
Yeah. I mean, if you're a hotel and you can link it and they use that link, you can link it back, right? And you can track it, but you don't have a link to book your photos that that did that. We don't do it like that. It just depends on the client.
Yeah. Okay. Next question.
Where are we at?
What's something you're currently trying to get better at or understand more deeply in your field? Callie, you go first.
Okay. Honestly, I'm really trying to get better at what's working for other people and what's not. I know there's this level of you don't want to compare, but you also, if someone is killing it, for example, I'm in this photography group chat, and there are some people that say, well, no, it's like every photographer in Vegas. It's actually outrageous, but happy to be part of it. But there are a few photographers that say, oh my gosh, it's been so dry. I haven't gotten any bookings. And there's other photographers saying, oh my gosh, I have so many bookings. Let me know if y'all need work. So that's not by chance. Someone's doing something and someone's not doing something. So for me, I really want to learn and understand more why the people that are killing it and observe what they're doing. Not copy them, but is their brand identity down, and there's clarity. So for me, as a photographer and a business owner, I want to get better at it, kind of circling back around the clarity of it all. My clients, whether that's more niche or a little bit broader umbrella, but the people I see killing it, they know their brand identity. They know who their ideal client is, and they are marketing to them. And so that's something I want to continue to research and then find out how I can put that into my own business.
You've already been doing it on organic socials, though, yeah?
I mean, I guess. I'm just not where I want to be. I'm like you. It's like if you're not where you want to be, but you still are like, I'm doing okay. I'm not content yet.
Yeah.
So
Those photographers, have they been in town for years?
One of them, she just popped off last year.
Because I was going to say, a lot of it is word of mouth in Vegas,
Oh,
especially in
for
gaming and
sure.
food and beverage, right? So if they've been doing it for 15 years, they've got that many more years on you. They have that many more connections. They have that
Right.
much more word of mouth. And I feel like as much as you can market to it, word of mouth is huge in Vegas.
I'm glad you said that, because that's honestly how I started, was word of mouth. And I thought, is that such old school marketing, just being referred to by people? But to me, that's the best marketing.
Yeah, and Vegas, as big as we're getting, is still very small.
It is.
It's such a small world. People all know each other through 6 degrees of separation, the Kevin Bacon, and it's a lot. And, the more you stay here and don't move out of state, the more you stay here and you plant your roots,
right,
you're going to get that too. Just from that, that's going to be a whole nother avenue that's going to work for you in this town.
I mean, even old school marketing in the aspect of networking, going to events and rubbing shoulders with people that are further along than you is something that gives me anxiety, but I know I need to do.
Yeah, we all do.
So,
right?
I mean, relationship building is everything.
Yes.
I mean, you're right. You're so right about it. Nothing's changed in Las Vegas.
Still,
I grew up here. It's still the same.
Yeah.
There's transplants. There's a lot of people coming in, but it's still this. It still operates the same way. It's all through relationships, and that's why that's why I joined the Henderson Chamber. That's why we're now part of the AMA. That's why I have to be in the same rooms
with the people
as these people that I want to make relationships with. I bought a seat for the Raiders luncheon. Those are investments that I'm currently looking at, because I'm like, hey, this is going to pay off in the long run.
Yep, totally. I mean, if you're good at what you do, it's just going to, people are going to love to be able to refer you. That's just, and I think you've got that, and you're getting your feet wet in it, and you're going to, that's going to be one branch you're not going to think of. That's going to be your free social.
Yeah.
It's going to be free, your word of mouth.
Yeah.
So,
like that.
So what's one thing for you that you think is you're trying to understand more deeply?
So after leaving corporate, I was at one job for 19 years. So we used a lot of the same platforms over and over and over. And AI was just kind of kicking off when I left there, just barely, right? And right now it's like opening my eyes to a whole different, having to learn all this AI stuff that is helping streamline doing things. I've had to learn different CMSs for websites. I've had to learn different tracking tools, things like that. So, and as Danielle said earlier, every day it changes. So just as soon as you think you know how to do something, they change the rules.
Pivoting.
They change the laws.
Pivot.
My best story is when California did the privacy, changed their privacy law to where you had to show all the fees.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just say 49 plus. It had to be with the taxes, the resort fee, whatever it was, entertainment tax. And I had to redo my entire library of advertising for my casinos in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks? I did not know that.
2 weeks.
Well, you had a really great team then to just crank it out.
Yes. It was hardcore, but it was, but that just reflects things change on a flip of a dime. And it was we have to do this. And so, but being in the small business side, it's opened my eyes to be able to learn so much more, where if I was still at corporate, it'd still be the same systems to a point. So now it's just getting to dive in and learn all that stuff. And I like it because, I was learning every day in corporate and things were different every day, but I was learning a different way. And this way it feels like I'm growing at my old age and not just being stagnant.
Do you feel that corporate marketing can get a little bit stale and antiquated?
Yes. I feel like we're so used to, especially in gaming, I feel like we're so used to doing things the way we have. There were so many things I did at 21 that we did 25 years later. And I think that sometimes they need
Billboards and magazine.
Yeah. And I think there's some things we just needed to open our eyes to, and we weren't willing to quite do that. And I think we needed to take the chances with things that we didn't take chances with. So as much as things could change, we were very just well, no, this is how we do it. And I feel like, and they might be doing it now in that world. I don't know, but it was very much, it was day to day different, but day to day exactly the same. And we didn't change anything about how we sent out a mailer or our email blast. We just plopped in different creative. We didn't think about, things behind it, or we wanted to, but then maybe that person wouldn't allow it. But it's, in certain ways it's very antiquated.
For me, it's AI. And it's not, AI production. It's just, how can I leverage AI to streamline my systems?
Yep.
I I've gone down a whole rabbit hole in just the last month of how do I do this so that it's actually streamlining my systems when I talk to my thing now.
My girlfriend does that. She talks to it. It goes straight up to her Notion software.
And it's amazing.
She's driving. She's telling Chat what, or Claude to put it in her Notion, and
I think that's something that as small business owners we all need to figure out how to use, leverage AI for efficiencies, not so much for production, because then your brand will look like everyone else's, right? So you still need to keep
Human
that
touch.
Individuality, human touch, but the efficiency side, I'm learning a lot.
And the storytelling, they can't tell the story if they don't know it, right? So that's why that us humans need to still be there. But it's been amazing to have those tools. I'm like, what would I have done with this 10 years ago? Like the things that I would have, you know what I mean?
You've
like
been
it's
a
just,
beast.
it's just been, and there's just so many tools, like trial and error. Signed up for this one thing. It worked great. I've kept it. This other one, 2 weeks later, I'm like, no, you need to give me my money back. Like this is, because they're just jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. And so it's hard. It's just a lot, but how do you learn? You can take risks. You got to you got to fail and get right back up and try it again. And it's been nice being able to feel like my brain is being used in a different outlet that maybe it wasn't before,
Callie, what's something about owning a small business that you wish you understood earlier?
Again, all the business side of it, I guess. America, I wish in high school there was some sort of entrepreneurial class.
Right.
I graduated in 2011, and at the time everyone was saying, oh, well, if it doesn't work out, what are you going to do with your life? As if college was the end all be all to success. Obviously, get your education. I think it's beautiful. Also, we need people that are educated. I'm a creative, and that path just didn't make sense to me. And so for me, I didn't have really anybody guiding me. There wasn't all this information back then that there is now. And so for me, I just wish I had a little bit more guidance on the admin side, getting the LLC, getting a CPA, the marketing aspect of it. Because again, in my generation, it was just go viral and all the people will come. And there's so much more to it than that. And sure, there are people that are killing on social and that's their full-time job, content creation. But there's so much more if you want to actually have a small business that is sustainable in the long run, that is beyond just that avenue. So yeah, for me, I just wish I would have known, had a little bit more guidance on all the back end stuff that I think small business owners can kind of gloss over, and we can get our head in the clouds and we need to be brought down and say, hey, no, you need to do X, Y, and Z and actually have systems, analyze data and see what's converting, doing all of that.
And see, that's something that we talked about in the first episode of Built and Branded was it's super important for you to build your dream team, and not team in terms of hiring people, but team in terms of, do you have a good business banker? Do you have a good CPA? Do you have a good business lawyer? Are your contracts good? So
there's so many things you don't think
about.
You need to do when you start it. Or do you need to be an S corp? Do you need to be a sole proproprietor? Do you need to
I got some text from you what do I do? I'm like,
oh my
hire
gosh,
a registered agent. And you're like, I did.
A what? I'm like, a what? What do I need to get? And that's the thing, like you said, in the school, they don't teach us budgeting. They don't teach us taxes. They don't teach us stocks. My kid's in 8th grade. He's doing stocks every Monday, which I think is amazing.
Awesome. That's
so, and
amazing.
I think in California, they're passing that law so kids have some way of knowing how to be an adult when they graduate to a point.
Need that.
We didn't do that.
No.
What I think that I wish I would have known about business in general is that I could have done it earlier. I had a lot of people say, you should go on your own. You should do this. And I was like, no. But in my eyes, I was thinking, I have to have full-time employees. I have to have an office space. I have to have all this because it was pre-COVID times, right? Where people were working from home. And so constantly people were like, I think you should do this. Your connections, you're this. And I'm like, I don't want that responsibility. I don't want that. And now that, I was making 6 figures. I had a bonus program. I had a stock program. That's a lot to give up to go be just me.
Right.
And, everything happens for a reason, I believe. It's tattooed on my leg, and things led me to go to that path and go, hey, let's try it. What's the worst that can happen? I go back to corporate life or, go down a different avenue. And so I wish I would have realized that it's hard, but it's also something that was attainable and that I could grow or keep small. I can do, whatever I want. And I think that is part of, I didn't have enough confidence in it and just didn't think that I could do that or wanted the stress. My job was stressful enough. Why would I want to go open a business and be responsible for other people and all of that, right? I mean, it was a very stressful job. Yeah. And I've been able to pick and choose my stress. And that's been fantastic. And I just wish that I would have known that it's more attainable being an entrepreneur than I thought.
That's good.
I would have never you told me 5 years ago.
You'd have been like, go kick rocks.
Yep. Basically.
For me, I wish I would have come to terms with the fact that this is like peak character development. I kept, trying to control things that I couldn't really control. And I would take things personally. I'm now at a point where, all right, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. On to the next thing. Okay, next.
Everything happens for a reason.
Everything happens for a reason. I love that. I need that tattooed on my leg too. But yeah, I just wish I would have come to terms earlier with the fact that, everything happens for a reason. This is character development. Just keep going. Stop getting so frustrated and stressed out. I used to ride a 160 over 100, like blood pressure, like all the time, right? Oh, like 130 over 80, 120 over 80. I'm like, normal.
We talk about blood pressure.
Right? And I'm only 30, and I'm like, oh, I cannot be having this, kind of problem. But yeah, I just wish that I could have figured things out a little sooner, that I would have just come to terms a little sooner, and that would have helped me honestly scale a little bit faster.
I think that comes with age and confidence too. Yeah. Like at your age, no way would I have had the confidence to do what you're doing right now. And I think that's what's great about your guys' generation is you guys are kind of like, I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to try this and I'm going to do this. You said I could curse. And I think that's where I admire your guys' ambition and stuff to do that, because my generation is not always a lot of risk takers. Yes, Gen X was, we were left home alone. We did this. We took care of ourselves. We don't take shit. But in the same aspect, we are not risk takers, I don't think. I think maybe my parents, that generation, they didn't have a choice, so they became risk takers. So they didn't. But you guys are just, there's parts to be admirable about that. It's like, I would have never done that at that age. Ever.
Millennials are crazy.
I would have never
recovering people pleasers, and like I think that's honestly why some of us ended up being entrepreneurs, because we stopped caring about what other people thought.
And there's this big shift going on right now with millennials in their 30s doing a complete career shift. And my sister's going to law school at 37. So, she'll be done at 37. Forget. But either which way, it just because we were sold this narrative of what success was, and we're figuring out, there's not only one pathway to success. It's not just corporate, and I can work for myself. And I think that's, I don't know, we need more of that.
Being a woman versus being a man too. A lot of it was
so true.
The men were the ones that ran the businesses and not the women. In my generation, the man was the boss. There wasn't a lot of female bosses. To this day, I've not had a female boss.
My gosh.
Me. I've only had male bosses. I mean, there's so many more females in my industry now, but I'd never had a female boss.
Really?
So that, it's just totally different. You guys just, open the eyes of like, it's okay to, it's totally off subject from business, but menopause, things like that. No, women were not allowed to talk. We didn't talk about that when I was in my 30s. And now the 30s and the early 40s year-olds are getting us to talk about and know it's acceptable to talk about women's problems and mental health and postpartum and all of that stuff. So you guys have brought that out, I think. And have helped that.
Gen Z.
That you're okay in your 20s and your 30s to talk about what happens when I become old, because it wasn't talked about.
Yeah.
You can cut that out if you want.
No, it's fine.
So
We'll keep it.
It's totally not business. But.
And I think, I don't know. That's all the questions I have today. How do we cut this off?
We cut this
Say
off.
peace out. No,
Peace out.
Well, thank you for having me, Danielle. You got me out of my box and got me to do something I would have never probably done for anybody else. So
I love you.
I love you too. So
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here and learn from both of you, because it's funny, I've only had female bosses. I actually only like working for women. So if this was two men, I probably wouldn't have showed up.
she loves men. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah,
we
I'm
all
married.
like
We're
men.
good.
We all like men. They're
But
okay sometimes. Even this Ben guy behind me, behind the
Like,
camera,
over
he's
there.
pretty good. You know.
Wait, can I ask her like one question? What would you say was the how do I word this? What would you say is the hardest part of transitioning from corporate to entrepreneurship?
The stability.
Yeah,
You know, like I said, I don't know, you're probably asking her, but
both.
you know, just the fact that I was at a job for 19 years, I gave up that stability. I gave up the stocks. I gave up the bonuses. I gave up the vacation time. Didn't really matter because I worked through every single vacation that I had.
Really did. What the heck?
But you know what your paycheck's going to be
Yeah.
every single week. You know that you're going to have good health insurance. Luckily, I have a husband who has amazing insurance. I haven't had to worry about it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just those. That is, I think, is a big shift for a lot of people, and it's a lot to give up, especially when you know I went into gaming at 17. I opened a hotel at 17 at the front desk.
Silverton.
It was
still
Boomtown.
Boomtown then.
And I opened Boomtown 5 days before I graduated high school, and then I went into marketing at 21, and now I'm almost 50. So you know I've been doing it that long, so I had that stability from 17 to 49. To 48, 48, 49. So it's that I think is the hardest adjustment, to know that I have to be somewhere at this time and do, you know what I mean? So that's stability was the hardest for me.
For me, it's also stability, but also learning and having enough confidence to bet on myself. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
it
have
is.
to have
It's true.
crazy faith in yourself.
you
I mean,
do.
even every month, I'm like, oh my God, are we losing a client? Are we getting any more? Like, are we going to be able to scale this month? Like, you just have to believe in yourself and believe in the fact that you're actually going to make it happen.
Yeah.
I had to buy my own health insurance. It's expensive as hell. You know, it's like, but
Yeah.
it's the stability. That was the hardest piece of me, like walking away. But, I knew I had to, because I knew that I would hit a ceiling at this point, right? I would hit a ceiling in corporate and I would not be happy where I was. So
Yeah, and in gaming, it's hard to always advance necessarily in the same company. Sometimes you have to jump
you have to jump.
to be able to go up higher. So, and if you like stability, jumping around
it's
just to
not.
get up the ladder isn't, it took me a long time to get up the ladder, but in the 19 years to do that, but I did it. But that's not, I don't feel like that's the normal case. Most people, that's why you find VPs or CMOs or anything in the C-suite is there for 2 to 3 years. They clean up messes, they move on. They clean up messes, they move on.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did that help?
Yeah, thank you. I just want to know that feeling
Well,
is
you
I'm
give
not
up cash
alone.
in your hand every single day.
Yeah,
know?
I mean, cocktail serving. We're in a union. We had a 401k and health insurance and daily cash. And even though it wasn't consistent, it was consistent enough.
Yes.
And so it's just that transition is hard. So I've just been like, it's a lot.
I feel that every day. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I know we all feel that every day. It's a lot.
Yes.
It
But
takes
it's
a
worth it.
special person to be an entrepreneur.
It's so worth it. Well, thank you, ladies. So
Thank you
much.
for having us.
Be sure to like, follow, subscribe, and do all the amazing things you guys do to support small business owners. See you all in the next one.